Breaking right now, the respected royal author Hugo Vickers has revealed that Prince Harry is not only petrified of her, like so many others, by the way, every member of staff who's seen her bullying ways, but he's also petrified of losing her.
Royal biographer Hugo Vickers just dropped a stunning revelation. Prince Harry is absolutely petrified of Meghan Markle, not just intimidated, but, deeply afraid of losing her. This isn't speculation. Vickers is sounding the alarm on Harry's emotional dependence and Meghan's powerful grip behind the scenes.
Which could explain the sorry state he finds himself in, excusing the inexcusable when, for example, it comes to pimping out the children to sell her scam jam when he claims that social media is the most dangerous place in the world for children. It could explain a lot. I have no sympathy. To be honest, the guy was warned, but perhaps it is an explanation. We're going to get analysis in just one moment from our royal mastermind, Angela Levin. She is Prince Harry's biographer, who spent obviously about, a good couple of years following the guy around. So she knows him well. But first, let's have a look at what Hugo Vickers actually had to say about this.
Other people who are much better at telling you these things, there are other people who are better at doing cookery programs, there are other people who are better at advising how to found a business. I mean, they're sort of latching on to things, well, she is in particular. And, it's just hard to see where it's going. I mean, I hate to say it, but my feeling at the end of the day is that Prince Harry is kind of petrified of her and petrified of losing her. Do you know that kind of syndrome people get into? See if I'm right.
No, I think it's been phrased that way. That I think there was an article in the United States that said that she's just awful, but he's an enabler, and it's almost like he's aware, but he can't actually get out.
Angela Levin, is Hugo Vickers right? Do you believe that Prince Harry is not only petrified of Meghan Markle, he's also petrified of losing her?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's been going on actually before they even got engaged. I remember when I went to see him at the palace and one of his aides said, look, be very careful. He's in a mood today that he thinks she's going to drop him. So he's beside himself. So don't mention it. Be very careful. Otherwise, he'll just shout and you'll have to leave. Okay, and you get used to that, so I didn't mention it. And then he mentioned her a bit later. You have to have these techniques, don't you, as a journalist? So I think
but that sounds like emotional manipulation, doesn't it, by Meghan from the very early days?
Yeah, well, I think that, and I will say something now that is pretty dangerous, but what I feel. You'll have to unlock me out of prison, actually. And I think that when she said that she wanted to kill herself because she was so unhappy and it was so awful.
Subscribe now, because we're diving into the psychological drama unfolding behind the royal curtain, and honestly, it's darker than you think. In a new interview, Making Waves, respected royal historian Hugo Vickers revealed that Prince Harry may be living in fear, not of the media, not of the firm, but of Meghan herself.
I think that was what she wanted to do to get Harry out. I don't believe that that's what she was doing. I think it was something that she said, that she knew he would help her. Because she went for... to the, I can't remember where it was, anyway, and she dressed, and she was beautifully dressed. Now, if you actually
to the Royal Albert Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it, thank you. But if you are so depressed, you can't go, you can't get out of bed, you can't do anything. You can't sort of put makeup on and make sure you look lovely and then go there and be smiling at everyone. Even if she's an actress, you can't do that. But I think that she does sort of shriek and say, what are you doing? You're making my life so terrible. She's one of those women, and that's how they keep their man dangling. And I think that that's been part of Meghan. And you can see that because if she went to the Invictus Games, she was kissing him and loving him and putting her neck in his and doing all those things. And then he disappeared because she didn't want him around for several weeks because she wanted to do her cooking. Now, I love you, I don't love you, get out of here, stay with me. I mean, she said at the podcast that we got to do at the beginning of the week that she's always going to stay with him, and she loves him, and he's foxy but lovely, and he wants to do everything he can to look after me. But it's never that what she's going to do for him. Meghan, it's for Meghan, and you can see that he's really lost. He can't find a job, he hasn't got friends, and he's just there to be an assistant and to follow her if she's going anywhere. That's what I feel, and I'll be in trouble, but you'll have to help me out.
Angela, also there has been odd behaviour from Prince Harry over the past week because, of course, he turns up to this Legends of Aviation event, and Kurt Russell says on stage, unfortunately, living legend Harry has to leave early tonight. Who else will pick the berries for his wife's raspberry soup? Which is obviously quite a diss, given we know what's going on. But then in the picture, and you'll see the Commentator USA pick this up, they asked, hey, Harry, is that a shiner? So, I mean, I'm obviously not suggesting we know at all if he did have a shiner or if he wasn't well. But it was interesting, wasn't it? Because he didn't feel like he was on good form. You know him pretty well. You can pick things up. And remember, Angela, the day before he'd been at that Time 100 event as sort of Meghan's bag carrier. And there's that video of when they get out the car together and she just charges ahead and shows him absolutely no respect, which you meant to do if you remember the royal family, and you could see
couldn't have
the
been there. He
misery in
didn't,
his
you know,
face.
it looked as if he wasn't there, wasn't it? She just carried on walking through. Yeah.
He's terrified of losing her. You can see it in his eyes, in how he speaks. There's fear, there's control, Vickers said. So this isn't the first time Harry's body language has raised red flags, but now even royal experts are confirming what many have long suspected.
He could have fallen over.
Of course,
he could
yeah,
have
of course.
had a fight with anybody. So I think on that one, I don't have any evidence. But what you do see is that he was wounded, but we don't know who or
No,
why.
exactly. We
But
don't.
that makes him very miserable.
Of
And
course,
he didn't
and that
feel-
is understandable, of course, if you've had a fall or anything like that. Now, the criticism from the US, Angela, though, as a result of this latest glut of publicity is very interesting to me, because Dana Lash, the right-wing American commentator, doesn't usually talk about this type of thing at all, right? She's not big into the royal family or sort of pop culture stories at all. But on her most recent podcast, she spoke about Meghan and Harry because she claims, and I agree with her actually, that they now represent grifter culture. It's interesting, isn't it, hearing from Dana Lash on this?
Yes, but it's good for somebody like that will talk out, because a lot of us, you know, we don't, we're either so used to it or we leave it alone. But, you know, I do a fair bit of cooking, but you do see if somebody's used to doing it by their speed and the way they use their hands and how they use the cutlery they're doing. But she has got no idea about it. You can just tell that. I agree with her. She's got no experience. And also with her hair hanging down, and the one with Lilibet, who was right next to her, where she was boiling some strawberries. And I thought, oh no, if she turns her head, she can get the head in the boiling water. I mean, I just felt the hair in the boiling water. I just felt, you know, you've got to be very careful. You've got to make sure that I mean, anyone can do that, you know, make a round of fruit, because there's nothing to do. Somebody else would cut it for her. She could just put it in place. But she really hasn't got a clue. And I think also that she doesn't really understand about children either, because in the chats that she's had lately, she talks in a ridiculous way, like saving several lines of what she wants the children to know when they're 18 and or 16 even. But, can you imagine a teenager wanting to know what a mother thought of them when they were sort of 3? It doesn't make any sense. And I think that's exactly the same with cooking, that she can say things and pretending she's so working to the end, but actually it's all she doesn't know anything, but she wanted to do this and earn money out of it. Netflix must be very disappointed, but I do feel that some of these things that she wants to do it because then she can say to Netflix, well, look at me. I'm still on the front pages. People are still wanting to see what I'm doing. Doesn't matter if they don't like it. Doesn't matter if they don't like me for it. But look, they're looking. You're doing very well. Let's carry on. I think that's quite in her head.
Angela, Dana Bash also spoke about, I know it's your favourite topic too, Angela, the flower sprinkle.
Hugo Vickers describes Harry as a man who's become emotionally dependent, isolated from friends, family, and even himself. From cutting off the royal family to moving across the world, Harry's drastic decisions all point to a man desperate to keep Meghan happy.
I know you're with her on the flower
Very
sprinkle,
good, isn't it? She's got it quite right, the whole move. Well, my feeling on that one is that it's not selling. And so she's making up all this absolute rubbish, a little bit of magic. Tell me, dried up bits of flowers. I can't believe what she's saying. They won't. That's people just don't want to do that. You go, yeah, what's that? Yak out. But I think she's trying to make sure that she sells loads of it, and actually people might not have bought it. So this would be a way of trying to sell it herself.
And Angela, I think Dana Bash actually maybe the Dana Lash, sorry, maybe the best moment was when she actually, there's a little bit where she goes into the fashion. And I know,
I love that bit.
Yeah, I'm not a fashion guy, but a lot of people
I know,
were talking
but even
about
you could do that very easily. You comment on that.
And
it's
then
so obviously awful.
Yeah, I know. Well, Dana goes into that, but then, and this is what I was much more interested, she talks about Meghan's visit to Uvalde, remember, after the school shooting. That is interesting, isn't it, Angela? Just to see.
She's brilliant. I mean, she's got it all together, and one line after the other, she actually sees all the flaws. And I don't mean just flaws because she can't do anything else. I mean, we've all got flaws, but I think she's got such huge flaws. She does such awful things, and that's why she's so unpopular. Absolutely. People can't stand it. Okay, one thing, but it's one thing after the other that her reasoning to doing something is so appalling, so negative, so just about her that people just don't want to know. I've had a couple of emails saying, why can't you stop about talking about, we can't stand her. I'm in Canada. There's somebody else who's also in Canada. She makes me sick. But you see, you are drawn to the horror of it. And that, in a way, makes her right about with Netflix, that people cannot bear it. People cannot bear her. But they can say to their friends, that, did you see? Not again. Can you believe what she's doing this time? How she's cunning. It's cunning.
Angela, it was really interesting too, seeing Billy Bush. Now, for folk who don't know about Billy Bush, he's a very mainstream guy. He was Extra, Access Hollywood, The Today Show. The poor guy, actually. I mean, the Billy Bush story is fascinating. He's the poor guy who was cancelled because he had the conversation with Donald Trump before the election in 2016, where Donald Trump said some spicy things, not realizing that he was being recorded, and then it was leaked. And Billy Bush lost his job for some reason because he was the guy who was chatting with Billy Bush. Anyway, he has now launched his own show called Hot Mics. And I really enjoyed his take too, because this is a much more mainstream take on why that Meghan Markle interview with Jamie Kern Lima, I think that's her name, has just been a disaster.
But is this love or manipulation? Critics say Meghan has crafted a reality where Harry feels he has no other choice but to obey and protect her image at all costs. Drop a comment below if you've noticed the shift in Harry's personality since 2018. Is Prince Harry a victim of love or a prisoner of manipulation?
Watch this.
Did Meghan Markle go on her friend's podcast because she has a new policy of softball questions only? Or she knew her friend would take the brunt of the beatdown in the comment section?
And I think so many people also have this question for you is, Meghan, how are you? And are you okay?
That's so kind. I am. I'm better than okay. How are you?
I know you always make it about me. Today, which by the way, I just have to say, you are the most generous friend. You show up for your friends. Today, I just get to talk about you, which I'm excited about. But how are you doing? There's so much going on.
Where have I seen you before, girl?
I'm going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Hello.
If that woman has a daily affirmations app, I'm in.
And see, what's interesting to me about this Angela Levin is, look, people who watch our show are pretty engaged on the whole with the royal family, and they know the story, they know the background. But what's so interesting about this Jamie Kern-Lima interview is that it was so bad, Angela. It's completely translated and gone huge in America for all the wrong reasons. Stephen Crowder's been talking about it, and I think we can show you the stats as we go on, Angela, but the dislikes on this video are like off the scale. I mean, one of our videos, Angela, usually, and I'm so grateful, by the way, please do hit like if you're watching us right now, because it really, really does help with YouTube and the algorithm and everything. And most of our videos, Angela, get about 99% likes, which is just amazing and extraordinary. Look at this, Angela. This video got, is it 78% dislikes? So even the people who are watching it, and by the way, many more people actually watched, Angela, this is really interesting to know, many more people watched our analysis, the analysis that we did earlier in the week with myself and you and Samantha Markle. More people have watched our analysis than have watched the interview itself, but the people who are watching the interview are not liking it.
How interesting. Yeah. Well, we have to carry on with what we're doing, won't we? But I think this discussion, Meghan and her friend, is just too awful for words. And very near the beginning, she was asked if she'd like to sew, or and she said, I so wanted to do that. I said, but I'm so busy. Okay, can't do it, leave it. So don't worry about it. But she took this as a sort of, she's so important and so rushing around, getting up and getting to school, and she has to go twice and it takes a long time. She's not back till 9 o'clock. And then, but she's got a nanny. So we all think, okay, but I've been told that it's now her mother again, that the last nanny left, and it's her mother who stands in for being a nanny because nobody else wants to. Now, I haven't got that absolutely certain, but that's it. And I'm sure that that's right. Because I think she's getting worse and worse and worse, and how she speaks and how she responds to something and what she thinks of herself. And this conversation was not going to be just about her and what she's doing. You want something interesting, and it isn't. It's so dull. It's so boring. It's so petty. And it's all about her amazing confidence in herself, which actually isn't confident, because she wouldn't be like that if she was confident. She would be helping people and standing up and wanting to get people to know some of the things she's done and how they could do well. No, it's all about her. But she's fed up with making something happen now, isn't she? She's fed up. And I think the whole thing of not wearing any makeup was also to show how unfortunate she is, and things don't work out for her, but she tries so hard, but nobody listens. I think that to look like that, which made her look absolutely dreadful, but was deliberate there to show that, you know, she's got no time even to put on makeup.
Hugo Vickers has ignited a firestorm of debate, and honestly, the signs are harder to ignore every day. What do you think? Is Harry terrified of Meghan? Or just deeply in love? Sound off in the comments. We're watching everything you say. Like this video if you think Harry needs help. Subscribe for more unfiltered royal reality. And, you know, don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss the next royal revelation.